Welcome to our Trump Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into some big legal and political moves. The Supreme Court has temporarily allowed President Trump to end protections for almost 1 million immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, putting many at risk of deportation. While this decision is not final, it effectively suspends their protections during ongoing legal battles, sparking concern among critics and immigrant advocates alike. In other news, the Department of Homeland Security has announced that some sanctuary cities, including Baltimore and Las Vegas, could lose federal funding if they don't cooperate with immigration enforcement. This move has stirred up controversy, with cities defending their policies and emphasizing their welcoming stance, even as the federal government pushes for stricter enforcement. And in the entertainment world, Taylor Swift has finally gained full ownership of her original music catalog, including her first 6 albums. After years of battling her former label and re-recording her albums, this victory marks a huge milestone for artist empowerment. It's a story of perseverance and fighting for control over her own work. Please continue to watch for more details on these stories. The Toronto Star reports that the U.S. Supreme Court has once again permitted the Trump administration to terminate humanitarian protections for over 500,000 immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, potentially exposing nearly 1 million individuals to deportation. This decision overturns a lower court order that kept these protections in place, with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson dissenting sharply, warning that such actions threaten to unravel the lives of countless migrants before their legal claims are fully considered. The case underscores the ongoing political and legal battles over immigration policies, with the Biden administration having employed humanitarian parole more extensively than any predecessor, allowing thousands to enter the U.S. amid turmoil in their home countries. However, the Trump administration's move to revoke these protections marks the first mass effort to do so, prompting fierce debates over the temporary nature of such protections and the federal government's authority to revoke them without individual case reviews, raising concerns about the human impact of these legal and political maneuvers. The same article highlights the broader context of the Trump administration's aggressive stance on immigration enforcement and its clashes with local jurisdictions, labeling some cities as sanctuary areas that obstruct federal immigration efforts. DHS's list of sanctuary jurisdictions aims to pressure localities into compliance, threatening to withhold federal funding from those deemed non-compliant. Meanwhile, Trump's recent public attacks on judges and legal institutions, coupled with his efforts to challenge the limits of executive power, such as his failed attempt to invoke broad tariffs through a 1977 law, reveal a pattern of testing the boundaries of presidential authority. His political moves extend to pardoning allies and controversial figures, as well as promoting a hardline stance on trade, climate policy, and foreign relations, including a rally in Pennsylvania for a steel deal with Nippon Steel. These actions reflect a tumultuous period of legal challenges and political strategies aimed at consolidating influence, often clashing with established legal norms and international commitments. The Associated Press vividly depicts the controversy surrounding Massapequa High School in Long Island, where the community fiercely defends its Native American chief mascot, arguing it honors their heritage and identity. Despite a long-standing state mandate to retire such mascots, the school refused to comply, citing tradition and community pride. However, the Biden administration's Department of Education, under the influence of President Trump, launched an investigation claiming that the state's efforts to eliminate Native American imagery violate federal civil rights laws, risking potential loss of federal funding. Secretary Linda McMahon emphasized the seriousness of the issue, hinting at possible legal action if the state refuses to apologize and allow districts to keep their mascots. The debate is intensified by contrasting perspectives. Supporters see the mascot as a tribute to Native American history, while indigenous residents and activists criticize it for perpetuating stereotypes and glossing over historical violence against Native peoples, especially given the mascot's depiction of a Midwest-style headdress in a region historically inhabited by the Lenape. The Independent narrates Todd Crisley's bold declaration of "no shame" following his pardon by President Trump, marking his first public appearance since being released from prison. The former reality TV star, convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion along with his wife Julie, confidently asserted his innocence and expressed gratitude for his family's return. His daughter Savannah passionately defended her parents, dismissing accusations that she paid for their pardon, instead attributing their release to her persistent efforts and strategic lobbying in Washington, D.C. The family is now preparing to relaunch their television career with a new show, the untitled Crisley's Project, which they claim is a testament to their faith and the support of President Trump. Critics, however, view the pardons as emblematic of the Trump administration's controversial use of executive clemency, highlighting the couple's criminal convictions and the broader pattern of pardoning allies and supporters, which has sparked accusations of corruption and undermined the rule of law. Yahoo US reports the imminent closure of 2 Hawaii Job Corps centers, a significant blow to local workforce development, as part of the Trump administration's decision to end the federally funded program after 61 years. The Department of Labor cited high costs and unsatisfactory results, including safety incidents and low graduation rates, as justification for shutting down the centers in Waimanalo and Makawao. The program, which provided free vocational training and support for youth aged 16 to 24, was highly valued in Hawaii, with local officials and advocates warning that its loss would create a void in the state's career development infrastructure. Despite the center's proven success in helping students secure higher-paying jobs and pursue further education, the department's analysis focused on operational costs and safety concerns, overshadowing the program's achievements. Critics like Congresswoman Jill Takuda condemned the move as short-sighted and reckless, emphasizing the program's role in empowering vulnerable youth and fostering economic growth, while the management company defending the program argued that the decision disregards its proven effectiveness and the substantial long-term benefits for students and communities. The Associated Press reports that Colorado's governor, Jared Polis, has vetoed a groundbreaking bill that aimed to ban landlords from using rent-setting algorithms, which many believe contribute to soaring housing costs nationwide. These algorithms, notably employed by RealPage, a major real estate software company, allegedly facilitate collusion among landlords by sharing confidential data to synchronize rent hikes, thus stifling competition and escalating prices. Despite the bill's passage through Colorado's Democratic-led legislature, Polis argued that existing laws already prohibit collusion and that such software could actually aid in identifying vacancies and managing housing more efficiently. Critics, including housing advocates and consumer rights groups, condemned the veto, emphasizing that it allows corporate landlords to continue exploiting secretive pricing tools that disproportionately burden the least advantaged tenants, while RealPage praised Polis' decision, claiming it supports a healthy housing ecosystem. The French international students community faces growing uncertainty amidst the Trump administration's recent restrictions, as reported by RFI. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio ordered embassies to halt scheduling new student visa appointments, pending new vetting guidelines that scrutinize applicants' social media activity, a move that has alarmed students like Hadrian Cockaloota-Roussel and Martin, who fear their academic futures in the U.S. are jeopardized. The crackdown includes revoking visas from students involved in pro-Palestinian protests and targeting elite institutions like Harvard, which faces legal threats to block foreign students' enrollment. These measures threaten to reduce international student enrollment, potentially triggering a brain drain, and have prompted European universities and governments to prepare contingency plans, emphasizing the long-term damage to America's reputation as a global education hub. The Independent reveals troubling allegations about Elon Musk's drug use during his political activities and his recent tenure in the Trump administration. Sources claim Musk was intensely using substances like ketamine, ecstasy, mushrooms, and Adderall, often daily, which reportedly affected his behavior and mood swings. His drug consumption coincided with his aggressive support for Trump's campaign, his role as a senior advisor, and the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which aimed to cut government waste but faced widespread legal challenges. Musk's erratic conduct, including bizarre public appearances and family turmoil, has raised questions about his fitness for leadership, especially given his significant influence over federal policies and his financial backing of conservative candidates. Despite these allegations, the White House has publicly praised Musk's efforts, while critics warn that his substance use and erratic behavior could undermine his capacity to lead the tech and political spheres effectively. The Toronto Star reports that Canada's economy experienced an unexpectedly robust start to 2025, with a 2.2% annualized GDP growth in the first quarter, surpassing both initial estimates and economist predictions. This growth was driven by increased exports of vehicles, machinery, and parts, as businesses rushed to preempt U.S. tariffs. Despite these positive figures, underlying weaknesses such as slowing household spending and declining residential investment suggest that the overall health of the economy may be more fragile than the headline numbers imply. Economists remain divided on the Bank of Canada's next move, with some arguing that the strong GDP data reduce the likelihood of a rate cut, while others caution that rising unemployment and inflationary pressures could still prompt a pause or even a rate hike. Market expectations currently favor a pause, especially amid ongoing tariff uncertainties and legal developments in the U.S., which could influence trade patterns and economic stability. Yahoo US highlights Taylor Swift's triumphant acquisition of her entire music catalog, including her first 6 albums, videos, and unreleased works, an achievement she describes as her lifelong dream come true. Announced on May 30, Swift's purchase from Shamrock Capital marks a significant milestone in her career, allowing her to fully own her art after years of contentious negotiations and re-recording her albums to regain control. The deal, reportedly valued at around $600 million, underscores her resilience and strategic vision, especially following her public disputes with Scooter Braun and her former label, Big Machine. Swift expressed gratitude to her fans and partners, emphasizing that owning her music grants her artistic freedom and autonomy. Her journey reflects a broader movement among artists striving for control over their creative outputs, with Swift's story inspiring many in the industry to seek similar rights and independence. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.